Hey everyone, my name is Tatiana. I am here just doing 30 days, talking about what the Lord has been teaching me, walking me through for a month. And so today I'm here to really talk about what the Lord has shown me this morning. And as I dig into His Word, one thing I just want to touch on too is I've been having like some eye pain and some head pain for about 2 weeks now. And it really is like a spiritual thing I'm sensing. And what God really has been impressing on me is that the devil will attack the way that we hear God the most. And that is typically through my sight and my discernment, or like that you could call it like gut feeling that God gives me about things. And so the other piece of it is that God has told me I need to be in the Word more, reading the Bible more. And so it makes sense that my sight is just, it makes it hard to want to sit down and read the Bible when you are not feeling good, or when your eyes hurt, when your head hurts, things like that. So that's been one really big thing. And so I just am going to keep pressing. Like, it's just going to happen. Nothing is going to stop me because I want all of what God has for me. So today, what the Lord is teaching me, as I read Exodus 32. I keep hearing 32. I keep seeing 32. So just continually praying into what that means. And then also just really interested in reading the chapter 32 of like every chapter in the Bible, if it has every book in the Bible, if it has chapter 32. I am reading that. So today I read Exodus 32. Exodus is about the people of Egypt and about Moses delivering them out of Egypt and that whole story. I grew up in a church. I grew up in a Christian school. I grew up reading Exodus a lot. But today when I read it, just some things really hit me that I had never noticed before. So, for example, chapter 32 talks about, it kind of is the end of when God gave Moses the 10 Commandments. So God had already provided the commandments, and Moses is about to head back down the mountain. However, the people of Egypt are just getting like frustrated. They're getting agitated because Moses has been up on this mountain probably for a very long time, caught up in the glory, literally getting like the 10 Commandments to give to his people. They were literally written by God. Like, I can't imagine. That whole thing just blows my mind. Anyways, people are getting upset. They're like, they're asking Aaron, like, where did Moses go? Like, we were supposed to have a leader. And instead, he's like nowhere to be found. So they're kind of looking at Aaron to really like step up and to lead them. And what God really showed. So Aaron says, sorry, I keep going back and forth, but what Aaron says is, bring me all your gold, and we will melt it. And we will have a festival of God. And so Aaron is really thinking with a heart of God, like, okay, we're going to sacrifice some of these like things that we hold on to and put them before the Lord. So they bring Aaron all their gold, but it turns into just like they're sinning. It turns into a party that God did not want, right? And so God sees this while Moses is up on the mountain and tells Moses, like, the people are having like, they're engaging in sin. They're having a celebration that is not celebrating me, and I'm going to bring out my anger. And Moses just says, please, Lord, do not hold back. Please remember your promise to me and to past generations. Like, just give it a minute. And God respects Moses's requests. Moses goes back down the hill and sees what's going on himself and gets upset. Like, it is just like not a good thing, especially since Moses just like had everyone's back and like essentially saved everyone's lives, and came back down and realized, like, okay, this is not how I want things to go. This is not of God. Like, no. So he puts an end to it. He's fuming. He is very upset. He finally, it says towards middle of chapter 32, he starts to really calm down enough to talk to Aaron. So in chapter 21, he says, finally, as in Moses, turned to Aaron and demanded, what did these people do to you to make you bring such terrible sin upon them? And this is where it gets good. So don't get upset. Aaron says, you yourself know how evil these people are, right? There's been a history of just doubt and evil things happening, where they don't have faith anymore. They don't believe that what is coming to them is actually going to happen. And so they start to turn from God time and time again. And so Aaron is essentially saying, like, Moses, you know this. Like, why are you putting it on me, right? They said to me, make us gods who will lead us. We don't know what happened to this fellow Moses who brought us here from the land of Egypt. So I told them, whoever has gold jewelry, take it off. And when they brought it to me, I simply threw it into the fire and out came this calf. So I always remember the calf, right? Like they worshiped a calf, and that was not the right thing to do. God got upset. However, what I didn't notice is that Aaron thought he was doing the right thing. Like I have been Aaron's a lot. Like I can commiserate with Aaron in this story because he is trying to help. He's trying to, like, he's essentially trying to carry out what Moses is doing while Moses is off trying to also talk with God, right? Like you always have a lot of people in leadership trying to implement what the leader wants, right? So Aaron is like, why are you getting upset at me? Like, I didn't make the calf. I just threw things in the fire and the calf came out. Really interesting, because how many times have we had really good intentions and tried to follow God and tried to do everything that we think God is telling us to do, and at the end of the day something comes out that we did not want there. We had no intentions of that thing coming out to begin with, and there it is, right? So Moses saw that Aaron had let the people get completely out of control, much to the amusement of their enemies. Also interesting because it's saying here, like, our enemies rejoice when we're sinning. Like when they know, especially in, like, people knew that Moses was leading people out of Egypt. Like it was probably like a very common thing, like amongst the neighboring countries, to hear and to understand what was happening, right? And so there were people fighting against Moses and fighting against the Egyptians, and they were excited that they were seeing these things happen, and that happens in our own lives. So he stood at the entrance of the camp and shouted. So Moses stood at the entrance of the camp and shouted, all of you who are on the Lord's side, come here and join me. So all the Levites gathered around him. Moses told them, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Each of you take your swords and go back and forth from one end of the camp to the other. Kill everyone, even your brothers, your friends, your neighbors. The Levites obeyed Moses' command, and about 3,000 people died that day. Then Moses told the Levites, today you have ordained yourselves for the service of the Lord, for you obeyed him, even though it meant killing your own sons and brothers. Today you've earned a blessing. Another thing that just really hit home in this story, how many times does God require us to kill pieces of our flesh in order to gain the blessing? So I just couldn't, it just hit hard, man. Like, I see that Aaron was trying to do the right thing. He's trying to get the people in line, trying to manage the chaos that was happening. And he put all the gold in the fire and a calf came out. It was not, well, we don't know, I guess, but he probably should have gone up to Moses if he could, and just said, like, what do you want to do? Like, what does God want to do? What should I be doing to help you, instead of just trying to take it into his own hands? Then you have Moses telling his followers, the people that have chosen to follow God, to go kill your neighbors, your friends, your enemies. Now, I'm not saying that that is obviously what we would be doing. I think it is relevant and symbolic of what God tells us to kill parts of ourselves that are not of God. That can be pride, that can be anger, that can be control, that can be so many things that we think might be honestly good. And we might have an attachment to certain things in our personality, like I've talked about in past videos. It might even be cutting ourselves off from people in our lives that we genuinely love, but we know in our heart of hearts that God wants us to separate from. That is really hard. I feel like I'm in that season right now, and it's a struggle because I just have some people that I just love. But God is telling me I need to cut ties with them. It's really, really hard. But as we can see time after time, but especially in this story, when we do that, we earn a blessing. So that is what I've learned today. I just am thankful that God showed me the story again about the gold calf, and I got to see it in a different light. So let me know if you see it in different than I do, or things that popped up to you as you read the story of Exodus 32 as well. So thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.